This is a toilet that is slowly leaking water from the cistern into the pan. You can see it in the pan, and there's a number of reasons that could be happening, but one of the more common reasons, and there you just heard the toilet actually fill the cistern back up again because it was draining slowly. The reason this particular issue is happening with this toilet is that the buttons haven't been adjusted properly. So it's a fairly common issue that isn't very widely known. So when a toilet's installed, you need to make sure that there is a little bit of play in the button, just a little bit, maybe one or 2 millimeters. However, this side, you can see that there's no play whatsoever. And what's happened here is that you can see the different lengths on the plungers. What's happened is this has actually come loose or hasn't been adjusted properly, and it's actually sitting down too far, so that when you close the cistern, it's actually pressing on the outlet valve. And you can see that if I press it gently, you can hear the water dripping into the pan. So what's happening here is that when you depress that, obviously if you press it fully, it'll actually flush the toilet. However, if it's only gently being pressed, it will actually lift the valve just enough for the water to actually leak in. So the way to fix that is to simply lower. Now these have actually got a locking mechanism. That black ring is actually a lock. So what you're supposed to do is get that to the right point, and then you push that down, screw that down and actually tighten that. And what that does is it stops it from coming loose. So I've adjusted that a little bit and put that back on. Check the toilet doesn't have any water leaking through it. Make sure there's a little bit of play. In this instance, there still isn't play, so it's actually touching it. So I'll just go through that process again. Undo that. Oh, you can see that I hadn't adjusted it perfectly. So I'll lower that, make it level with the other one, lock that in place, and we now have got no water leaking there, and we've got a little bit of play on both sides. Probably gone a little bit too far on that one. It's important that you don't go too far the other way, because if you go too far the other way, then you have to press the button down too far and the toilet won't flush properly. So the buttons are actually quite important to be adjusted properly. You need about that much play, just 2 or 3 millimeters and no more. So if you can't move it down, or if it's firm, it hasn't been adjusted properly. So that's a fairly common problem that isn't very widely known. It's an easy way of making sure that any slow leaks into the pan, are removed.